Welcome to what Baltimore calls the new stadium at Camden Yards, where tonight the hometown Ravens host their division rivals, the Cincinnati Bengals, on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football?
The Cincinnati Bengals have reached the NFL's crossroads. Young and talented, but unskilled in the art of winning. Quarterback Neil O'Donnell has been down the playoff path before. Now Cincinnati hopes he can show them the way. Success in the division depends on defending your turf, and it's time for Baltimore to make a stand. Tonight, the Ravens play without their heart and soul, and it's up to their other playmakers to answer the call. It's the Ravens and the Bengals on ESPN Sunday Night Football.
Hit it! Come on and hit it! Come on and get ready! I mean really ready! Are you ready for some football? A Sunday night showdown! Yeah, the Bengals and the Ravens battle down in Harbor Town. The stadium is rocking with all my rowdy friends. It's Sunday Night Football on ESPN. Let's launch this thing now.
The Baltimore Harbor on a warm, beautiful evening, and just a stone's throw away, the new stadium at Camden Yards, where a sellout crowd is stoked for its first ever nationally televised game. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike Patrick, along with Joe Theismann and Paul Maguire. It's great to have you with us. It's a big game for the Bengals and the Ravens. Both are 1-2 going into a bye week. The Bengals bring in one of the youngest teams in the NFL, particularly on defense, but that unit playing with newfound enthusiasm after that performance against Green Bay.
Oh, they really did, Mike. I mean, they did a terrific job against that high-powered offense in Green Bay. Brett Favre and company were held to 1 touchdown and only 13 points. And those 5 new faces on that Cincinnati defense did it by blitzing them and putting a lot of pressure on them. Expect that same thing tonight to go after Eric Zier. They do not want to allow Zier the opportunity to throw the ball down the field to Jermaine Lewis and Michael Jackson.
Well, you mentioned Zier. He, of course, gets his first start of the season tonight. Ted Marchibroda deciding that Zier had outplayed a less than 100% Jim Harbaugh through the first 3 games. And, Paul, what does that mean for the rest of the offense?
Well, Ted Marchibroda was not happy with the offense last week, so Eric Zier will be the quarterback because he feels that he can get the ball down the field. Priest Holmes will start at running back, which adds more speed to this team, but it doesn't make any difference unless Jonathan Ogden and the rest of the offensive line block like they know how to block. Joe's already said Cincinnati's going to blitz them. Can they pick up the blitz?
All right, Paul, a big early season game in the AFC Central. Eric Zier and the Ravens battle Neil O'Donnell and the Bengals on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Welcome back to Baltimore. To help you better enjoy our Sunday night coverage, ESPN unveils its latest technical innovation on tonight's game. It's ESPN's 1st and 10. The gold-colored line you'll see appears to be painted on the field, but it's really being electronically generated by us. It's a visual reference for you to always know the yard line an offense has to reach for a first down. While it is accurate to 1/10 of a yard, it won't be used to question officials' marks or measurements. It is purely to help you enjoy and understand the game. ESPN's 1st and 10. We think you're going to like it. Bruce Coslett on the left now in his 3rd year as the Bengals head coach, previously an assistant and a player in Cincinnati. On the right, Ted Marchibroda in his 2nd season with the Ravens, but long identified with this city's football fortunes. Lee Johnson will kick it off as the Ravens will receive. Johnson with 5 touchbacks in 9 kickoffs so far. And there is the starter at running back for the first time in his career, back to take the opening kickoff. Priest Holmes, he is back with a blazer, Patrick Johnson. crowd of 69,000 plus in this beautiful stadium. And we're underway in Baltimore. 7 yards deep. Johnson does it again. They'll start from the 20. For the Ravens offense, Eric Zier gets his first start of the year after 3 relief appearances. He has the 5th highest quarterback rating in the AFC. Priest Holmes gets the first start of his career. Jermaine Lewis has moved outside from the slot. He's averaging a stunning 32 yards a catch. An enormous offensive line has struggled with run blocking, but Ogden in his 3rd year is already one of the top 2 in the NFL at left tackle. Eric Zier out of the University of Georgia, a 3rd-round draft choice in 1995. And he wants to throw on first down. Complete out to the 35-yard line. The strike to Michael Jackson. Artrell Hawkins made the tackle. And they're woofing at each other already.
The Ravens want to try and push the ball down the field. A good way to start. A lot of times teams think you're going to run first, little play action. Michael Jackson does a good job against Hawkins, the rookie, pushes him up the field and actually turns him around to make the play. Good, solid delivery. Ball's on the outside. Nice job of putting it on the belly.
Priest Holmes will get a carry, cuts it outside, taken down at the 40-yard line by Hawkins. For the Cincinnati defense, a lot of new faces. Bankston and Simmons, the free agent acquisitions up front. Francis, the only real veteran on a fast, athletic core of linebackers. Tumulty and Spikes are the leading tacklers. In the secondary, Hawkins, you've already seen the rookie has played well, though they've tried to pick on him. Shade is always around the ball. Francis seemed to wear down as the season progressed last year. They're trying to rest him a little bit more. Holmes lost his footing and gained only a yard to the 41. This team has already gone through, and starting tonight, its 3rd running back. Eric Rhett and Jay Graham had gotten the call earlier. Graham out of Tennessee averaged 3 yards a carry. Rhett averaged 5.7 yards a carry, but those statistics a little misleading for him. He had 2 big runs at the end of games that really inflated that number. 3rd and 5 for Baltimore. 4-man rush. Zier to Jackson. Trying for the first down, and he's got it out to the 48-yard line. Good effort by Michael Jackson.
You know, this is a situation where Michael Jackson, Joe, not only makes the catch, but he knows where the first down marker is. This is an experienced receiver. He makes the great catch, but he also knows where he is on the field. Watch this catch. Now he knows that he has to get at least 2 more yards. That he does. First down.
Jackson, a big-time scorer in the last 3 years, 27 touchdown catches, 5th in the NFL. He has 11 catches this season, 2 tonight. Priest Holmes behind Potts.
One other thing, too, what the Ravens are doing on offense, there are certain receivers I think it's very important that you get them involved in a game early. In this case, Michael Jackson is one of those guys. If you don't throw it to him early, he just sort of disappears on you. Now the Ravens have him involved, and he should be involved the rest of the football game. I think that's a good move to get him the ball that early.
2nd and 5, spotted in Bengals territory at the 47-yard line. Pressure, Holmes hitting the backfield, got away. Priest Holmes turns a 3-yard loss into a 4-yard gain. Takeo Spikes, the rookie from Auburn, had him dead to rights and couldn't hold him.
Yeah, he would have, except for one guy. Roosevelt Potts, number 42. Watch the fullback. Number 42, bam! He hits Spikes right there. He stays with him, and Priest Holmes makes the move back to the outside and gets the first down.
Nice looking opening drive for the Baltimore Ravens. Zier again to throw on first down. Has plenty of time, and that's Lewis. Jermaine Lewis to the 30-yard line.
You can see the difference in the way Zaire throws the football. Jim Harbaugh, with his arm and hand problems, was not able to put the ball with that much zip down the field. Zaire sets. He's got a stronger arm than Jim, and the other thing that Ted Marchibroda likes about him is he's extremely accurate, and we've seen him put the ball exactly where he wants to tonight.
Why does Harbaugh sit on the sideline with his helmet on and his chin strap
You never
snapped?
know. You never know.
Jimmy's been ready his entire career.
That's right.
That finger still isn't 100%. It still bothers him if he has to play. Zaire again under pressure, dumps it off to Potts. And Potts wrapped up quickly by Francis. The one thing throwing on first down seems to do to a Bengals defense and the other teams that play that zone blitz, they don't want to blitz on first down, so you're crossing them up.
You're absolutely right, Mike. And also, by going play action, they have to hesitate. In particular, the linebackers have to hesitate just for a second to make sure the back doesn't have the ball. And I've always believed that that is the best pass blocking you can get.
If I were the Ravens, I'd call the same play again and get the ball to Eric Green because he was wide open.
2nd and 11. Dick LeBeau in these situations often brings the range. Priest Holmes to the 26, and they may have found something with young Priest Holmes, the second-year man out of Texas.
Watch, we told you about Roosevelt Potts, a block before. Well, watch this one on Tumulty, and Tumulty's down. Number 53, 42 on 53. He just stays there. Excuse me, I'm sorry, it was on Shade that he blocked, but he also got Tumulty on the play.
Tom Tumulty in obvious pain. We'll check on him when we come back. Welcome back to Baltimore. We're early first quarter, no score. And Tom Tumulty is the injured player. They are placing him on the cart. 3-year veteran out of Pittsburgh who had played so well in the early going that Brian Simmons, a first-round draft choice, was unable to get in the lineup.
Mike, if you take a look at the lower right part of your screen, you're going to see Roosevelt Potts put a block on Sam Shade, number 35, and Tumulty just gets caught up in the wash, and what happens is he just winds up getting his knee hit by Potts and then goes down.
He was leading the club in tackles. He was a tremendous player at Pittsburgh, and he is in obvious discomfort at this point. That means the rookie Brian Simmons will come in and replace him, or is scheduled to at least, and that would make the defense even younger because Simmons as a rookie replaces a 3-year vet. Right now it looks like they're in a nickel, and Steve Foley is on the field, number 95. We'll try to get you a report on Tumulty as soon as possible. Big play here on this opening drive, 3rd and 5 for the Ravens. Here comes the blitz. The toss to Holmes. Room to run. What a great play call.
Not only is it a great play call, but we've talked about the size of the Ravens offensive line. Jonathan Ogden, number 75, is 320 pounds. Watch him pull out in front. Here he comes. Here comes number 75. Good job by Michael Jackson. He just becomes a convoy, and Priest just hops in his hip pocket.
That's the speed we talked about at the beginning of the show. This is what Priest Holmes brings to this team. And can you imagine in their 4th game, they're looking for a running back? I think they might have found one.
6 carries, 34 yards on the opening drive. The last 4, 5, 6, 7, and 12. Holmes again. Most people have never heard of Priest Holmes. He was undrafted out of Texas, but if you follow college football, go back to the game where he almost single-handedly beat Nebraska.
I'll tell you, he goes between Jonathan Ogden and Wally Williams. And look at this play. Look at the hole in the middle here. That is his quickness getting into the hole. But again, Joe, you got Jonathan Ogden.
This team has been terrible in the red zone. Right now, they are right in the middle of it. 2.5 yards from the goal line. The clock already down to 8:17, and we've got a timeout. The play clock winding down. Zaire and Priest Holmes leading a great opening drive. Back to Baltimore after this. 0-0 first quarter, but the Ravens are driving.
Everybody always wonders, how can a team call a timeout when they're on a drive like that? What happens is the communication from the offensive coordinator, Don Strock, to Eric Zaire was not quick enough. I would have to say that that timeout was caused because Strock wasn't quite sure what he wanted to run. Had nothing to do with Zaire calling the play.
First and goal, Eric Rett checks in as the running back. Two tight end formation. Absolutely nothing. May have lost a half a yard. He was drilled by Von Oelhoffen and Javon Langford.
You know, when you're down here, we've talked about this in every game we've done. This is an attitude. When you get in this situation, you're inside the 5-yard line. Your offensive lineman, you know these guys are coming. They're coming upfield. They're forgetting all about pass. They're thinking just strictly run, and they're unloading on you. And your offensive lineman, you've got to beat him to the quick.
13th play of the drive coming. And now Cincinnati with a personnel mix-up will take a timeout. Bruce Kozlik unhappy about that one. Back in a moment. Ravens have a 2nd and goal in a scoreless first quarter.
Defensive coordinator LeBeau, he's sitting there talking. He only had 9 guys on the field. Francis, number 50, runs on the field. He made 10. And the guy that didn't come out at all was Greg Myers, 31.
Holmes back in there, tries the sweep. Touchdown.
That is the difference between Eric Rett, Jay Graham, and Priest Holmes. It's that ability to take the speed outside. He does this by himself. He just outruns the linebacker.
Ted Marchibroda said every time he's been in the game, he's made plays.
Well, you know who's blocking for him, don't you? Jonathan Ogden. Watch number 75, Jonathan Ogden. You think he's got his man, and he just turns him back to the inside. That's Langford, number 94.
Eric Green as well, one of the best blocking tight ends that's ever played this game. And the point after by Stover, a 13-play, 80-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 24 seconds off the clock. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines aerial cam high above the new stadium at Camden Yards for ESPN Sunday Night Football. Priest Holmes, 8 carries, 48 yards on that opening drive that went 80 yards and took nearly 7.5 minutes off the clock. Perhaps a star is born in Baltimore. Tremaine Mack, one of the AFC leaders in kickoff returns. Behind Bieniemy, near the 30. Here's Cincinnati's offense. Neil O'Donnell won the job in preseason. He's completing 2/3 of his passes, even though he doesn't have the system down yet. Dillon is coming off a 1,000-yard season, but the running game is unsettled so far. Pickens and Scott are big-time receivers. The offensive line has had its share of criticism, but Willie Anderson got rave reviews for his play against Reggie White last week. And there are 2 footballs on the field, so they'll clean that up.
I think Cincinnati would rather start at the 29 than the 11 where the other one was. I think it's a good decision. First good decision of the game for them on offense.
Although with 2, you can be really tricky. Corey Dillon. Stuffed as he got to the 31 by Stevan Moore. The Baltimore defense has a chance to be outstanding. Up front, Siragusa excellent against the run. McCrary is all out every play. Great speed at linebacker, but in the middle, Tyrus McCloud has a big job starting for the best player on the team, the injured Ray Lewis. The secondary was upgraded with the signing of Ron Woodson, the former All-Pro, still fighting his way back from a devastating knee injury. And there is Ray Lewis, who unofficially led the NFL a year ago with 210 tackles. O'Donnell with time. Throws. Dillon had yet to turn his head.
You know what that is, too? That is just a quarterback not being certain of the people that he's playing with. It doesn't have anything to do with play design or a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of understanding that Corey should be turning around. He's looking, he's looking, he's looking. Now, see Corey's head? He has to go by the official. He thinks he has to clear the official first, then get his head around. O'Donnell thought he might look sooner.
3rd and 8. Pressure on Neil O'Donnell. Throws on the run, and Dillon makes the catch for a first down. Great job by O'Donnell, forced out of the pocket. Deron Jenkins made the tackle. There's a marker down, however.
Michael McCrary, number 99.
There's an ineligible receiver downfield. And this will wipe out the first down. Ron Winter, one of the rookie referees in the NFL this year.
Receiver stepped out of bounds, reestablished position inbounds, was a first to touch. 5-yard penalty.
All right,
checking an illegal touch instead of a man downfield.
What Baltimore wants to do is they want to force Neil O'Donnell out of the pocket, and Michael McCrary is the guy that does that. He's on Kevin Sargent, number 77. Watch Michael McCrary, 99. Here he comes upfield. Now he's going right at Neil O'Donnell. He forces him to step up inside. He doesn't make the play, but that's what they want to do, Joe, is get Neil O'Donnell running.
McCrary, 23 sacks in his last 25 games. The guy brings it every down.
And Bruce Coslett made the point to us yesterday as we sat down with him. The one guy on that defensive side of the ball that gives him the biggest problem is Michael McCrary.
Since he had stepped out of bounds, the pass is ruled incomplete, so they don't have to take the penalty to force a 4th down.
I'll tell you the guy that knows all the rules, Saragusa. Now, Saragusa was in there in everybody's face telling him, hey, look it. We want to refuse this penalty.
Lee Johnson set to punt, 3rd in the AFC to the ever-dangerous Jermaine Lewis, who is averaging 19 yards a return. That's 2nd in the conference. The officials still discussing it. I think the problem is whether the pass is complete or not. If it is complete, they want to take the penalty to wipe out the first down, but there seems to be a question about that.
By rule, the ball is in, pass is incomplete. 4th down.
Because the receiver goes out of bounds and comes back in, by rule, it is incomplete on the face of it, whether he catches it or not, so they don't have to take the penalty.
Hey, one other thing I wouldn't do is I would not punt the ball to this guy right here, Jermaine Lewis. I'd kick the ball out of bounds about 50 yards down the field. There's no shame in that.
The only problem with that is you're the only guy who could do that. Kick the ball 50 yards out of bounds. You're asking. It's not that easy.
Yeah, you are right. I forget.
Well, wouldn't you still kick it out of bounds somewhere?
Corey Dillon is right down here. Corey Dillon, what he's going to do is going to step out of bounds, come back in and make the catch right there. But the fact that he stepped out of bounds, as he slides, there, he's out of bounds. He comes back in. He cannot be the first one to touch the ball. If it bounced off of somebody else, he could catch it. But being the first one to touch it once he re-entered the field is a penalty.
Now, Bruce Coslett is saying it was a complete pass, but by rule, it is not.
Well, he's an ineligible receiver.
Exactly. And then the penalty is on top of it, which they declined, and here's another flag.
I agree with everything you've said.
Thank you. And now we'll blow. Low snap. Johnson has to field it on the hop. It's a line drive kick. Jermaine Lewis at the 16. Out of bounds at the 33. There's a flag down. A 17-yard return after a 52-yard punt. Marco Battaglia took him out of bounds. the backup tight end from Rutgers. It's an illegal block in the back and unsportsmanlike conduct, and this will cost the Ravens
a lot.
Illegal block in the back during the return. That penalty is declined. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Contact with the defensive player out of bounds. Penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
So all the way back to the 18-yard line from the spot where he went out of bounds at the 33. Will return to Baltimore with a 7-0 game after this. Hall of Famer John Unitas on the field here in Baltimore as football has returned to this city for its second season. He and Marino, the best two I ever saw. Boy, he was something. He and Raymond Berry lit up this town. Priest Holmes.
You know, you notice, Mike, they're running to the left-hand side, which is the side of number 75, Jonathan Ogden. And Jonathan Ogden told us yesterday, on run plays, I want to bury somebody. I want to unload. I mean, this guy is 6'8". Watch this. Look at the drive in his legs. He said, if I get my hands on you, he's on the right-hand side of the screen. If I can get my hands on you, you're not going to go anywhere. Look at the hole that he opens up.
He's only 6'8", 317.
Yeah. But he doesn't look heavy, you know?
Just big.
Play action. Jermaine Lewis on the reverse. Clyde Simmons had him in the backfield, couldn't hold him, but it messed up the timing.
That's a veteran defensive end, Clyde Simmons. He doesn't bite and try and chase down the line like they were hoping. He takes his penetration, he sees the offensive moves, and then he just plays. Watch what he does. Watch the top. Here he comes. Number 96 comes across. He makes a play. Now, Lewis is just quicker than he is, but he is the one that stops him from making a sizable gain.
And don't run a reverse at a veteran defensive end because they're not going to take the fake. They're not going to go anywhere.
They got young linebackers, but veteran guys up front. Floyd Turner is in as a wide receiver on 3rd and 5. Zaire with time. Now he's flushed. Guns it. Caught by Jackson after he bobbled it twice at first down.
That's a nice job by Eric Zaire buying some time. But what I really like about this is he sets his feet. Watch this. He looks, he looks, he looks. Now he sets his feet. He can throw the ball with some velocity. Takeo Spikes is real close. But Zaire has an opportunity to set his feet and really put some mustard on it.
Michael Jackson let that ball get into his body. He nearly dropped it. But that was his 3rd catch for 40 yards in the first half. Here comes the blitz. Zaire dumps it. Priest Holmes shakes the tackle and then is buried behind the line of scrimmage. Takeo Spikes with that blinding speed for a linebacker. A little small at 230 to be playing inside, but he uses the speed.
Well, Takeo, when Spikes came in to talk to us yesterday, he sat down, and knowing he's a rookie, and Joe, I kept looking at his neck. I kept, you know, there actually is no neck.
No,
I mean, there's just like the shoulders.
Tell everybody how big it is.
It's 21
inches.
21 inches.
And I think there's a little more to it.
I could take the collar on his shirt. It would fit around my head, and I'd still have room in there.
Unbelievable.
Holmes on the toss. Priest Holmes. Not only speed, but he's breaking tackles.
Some outstanding blocks on the left side. And one thing that you notice that the Ravens are doing is they are running left. They continue to run left. Willie Williams, number 63. Jonathan Ogden, number 75. Big reach by Ogden. Good block, turning spikes inside.
Oh, boy, you are absolutely right. I mean, the blocking with this offensive line, if they can get these guys on track and block the way they know how to block, they can do this stuff all night long.
And also, you saw a terrific shot by Potts there.
Absolutely. The lead block of the fullback, he just leveled his man. Baltimore looks razor sharp. Zaire up top. Jackson couldn't get there. Artrell Hawkins, he'll be called for interference.
Hawkins actually reaches up and grabs his arms and pulls his arms down because Michael Jackson, I mean, you would think he would make this catch. Well, that was a beautiful pass. That pass was right on target, Joe.
Number 27 of the defense. Penalized at the spot of the foul. First down.
Number 27, Artrell Hawkins. Watch him grab here. This is where they call pass interference. He's got him right there. He pulls his arms down. He's got his left arm around his back.
See his left hand? That is what the official sees. And if I was him, the first thing I'd do, I'd find some purple gloves so that orange wouldn't stand out as much.
Priest Hall. They stretch this one out pretty good to the 20-yard line. Let's check in with Solomon Wilcots. Solomon.
Yeah, Mike, Bengals inside linebacker Tom Timothy went down holding his left knee. As he went into the locker room, he could not support his weight. We're being told that he has a sprained left knee, and he will not return to the ball game. Mike?
Solomon, thanks very much. Tough break for them. He had been their leading tackler early in the season.
No, everybody, excuse me, Mike, what you're wondering about Priest Holmes, where did this guy come from? In preseason, this was their best running back.
Holmes, right side again. Cuts it back, running hard to the 15, first down. Ted Marchibroda said this kid has such a tremendous work ethic, and he had to make sure that he settled on a back before this bye week.
Well, Potts does it again, this time on Tequio Spikes again. Watch Roosevelt Potts. Here Spikes coming up to take him on. He just pushes him to the outside, opens up the hole. Run all day behind Roosevelt.
12 for 73 yards for Priest Holmes. 71 to 2 in the rushing department. Green can't hang on. Just off his fingertips, the first incompletion for Zaire.
The first thing you notice about that play is terrific pass protection by that offensive line. The backs were allowed to leak out and gave Zaire a chance to really look at the field. There he is, the big horse, Jonathan Ogden. Great balance, terrific feet, doing a good job on Simmons. And now he just throws this ball a little bit too flat. And what I mean by that, it doesn't quite have enough arc to drop in. It's running away from the receiver a bit.
Eric Green nearly made the circus catch for his second touchdown of the year. Holmes on the delay. Ogden in front. Touchdown. Wally Williams threw a great block at the line, and then Ogden had to search for somebody to mow down in the secondary. Well, this kid, 13 carries, 88 yards.
Guess who starts next week?
Nobody. It's an off week. But 2 weeks from now, I got your drift.
Watch what the offensive line is doing for Priest Holmes. The right side of the offensive line, they're going to just cave everything down. This left side's going to come around. If Jonathan Ogden was handed the ball, he could have scored. Here comes the big tackle around. Williams does a nice job of kicking out, and Jonathan gets out front, but doesn't need to.
All right, here comes Williams in the hole. Look at this block here, and you're absolutely right. Jonathan Ogden is down on the goal line making a block, and he is a tackle at 6'8", 320 pounds.
Yes, sir, says Ted Marchibroda. That's what I was looking for, and he's getting it.
Well, this tell you just a little bit about Priest Holmes. You know, Ted Marchibroda was not happy with Brett or Graham. I mean, he gave them their opportunities to play. He said, I'm going to take a look at this guy before we go to our break. We have a bye next week. And if he plays well, he's going to be the starter in 2 weeks. But they have been, and they're in their 4th week, looking for a running back. Guess what? They found one.
There's Graham on special teams. The Ravens, and there's Eric Brett. The Ravens have run 22 plays and scored twice. The Bengals have 3 plays from scrimmage in this game. Mack and Bieniemy are deep. This place is going crazy. Mack at the 4. Ripping at the ball and bringing him down at the 24. Dwayne Starks, his former Miami teammate, led the charge. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with a major battle in the AFC West. Warren Moon and the high-flying Seattle Seahawks invade Arrowhead for a showdown with Derek Thomas and the Kansas City Chiefs. Join Joe Theismann, Paul Maguire, and me for all the action right after prime time at 8:15. Cincinnati needs a positive play here. Dillon gives them one out to the 30. Tyrus McCloud filling in for Ray Lewis, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
We've talked about the job that the Ravens offensive line has done. Now it's Cincinnati's turn. This offensive line is one of 5 that returns this year that have been intact. So if they're going to be able to get it done, it's going to have to happen up front.
Cincinnati needs to work on its ball control stat right now. Dillon again only gets a couple and some action after the play. The Bengals ground game averaging 76 yards a game after that terrible performance against Green Bay offensively. And Dick LeBeau trying to find out what's happening with his defensive unit. Third and short. They'll get the first down by throwing it over the middle to Darnay Scott.
I tell you, that is one gutsy call. That is one gutsy call. On 3rd and short, you're down 14 points, and you put the ball in the air. Nice reception, good pass.
And that is going to be the final play of the first quarter, which has totally been dominated by the Ravens, pounding it out on the ground, throwing it through the air. And they lead the Cincinnati Bengals 14-0 at the end of 1. Welcome back to Baltimore. The Bengals game plan on defense, bring the blitz as they always do. Baltimore hasn't let them do it.
Well, and Baltimore knew they were going to do that, but the offensive line, they are doing exactly what they want to do at the line of scrimmage.
Particularly on 1st and 10. If you can't get them into long yardage situations, if you can't get Baltimore into long yardage situations, Cincinnati's blitzes are basically not effective at all.
And we may have found a new running star. Priest Holmes with 88 yards in the first half. He's on a pace for over 300. O'Donnell play action. Bulware right in his face. Throws complete into Ravens territory. Nice diving catch by Carl Pickens.
One of the things that Neil O'Donnell is not noted for is that's moving around a lot. But Ken Anderson, the offensive coordinator, has decided to move him around a little bit in the pocket. And what he's looking for is Carl Pickens on Deron Jenkins. Now, because of the play action fake, Carl can push it up the field. Now he looks where the linebackers are and then slides in. That's a wonderful catch for a tall man going down for the ball.
Dillon on the toss sweep. Maybe a yard. 162 games just wasn't enough. Tomorrow at 7:45 p.m. the Giants meet the Cubbies to decide the wild card spot in the National League. Then on Tuesday, the division series begins at 1. Boston against Cleveland, followed at 4, San Diego and Houston. It all begins at 12:30 with baseball tonight. Second and 8. again. Good hole this time, and he plows forward near the 41-yard line.
Michael McCurry, we talked about him before, and even Bruce Costa said the guy that gives us the most problems when we play is Michael McCurry, number 99. Watch him come down the line of scrimmage. This is absolutely beautiful. The play is away. Watch this. Look who makes the tackle. McCurry on the other side of the line.
McCrary says, I was not one of those high draft choices. I had to earn everything I've gotten, and he still plays that way. O'Donnell set across midfield. Rob Burnett.
You can't blame Kevin Sargent for that. Kevin Sargent set up on a short set against McCrary because O'Donnell's got to get rid of the football. That's a nice job by the defensive backs on the right side. O'Donnell's going to set up to throw the ball quickly. It's a quick in a shot set up. Now it's got to go. The fact that it's not gone, I'm sorry, Rob Burnett gets in there, not McCrary. McCrary's been all over the field.
That's right. Well, he cut inside to free Burnett. Jermaine Lewis deep, bad snap. Again, Johnson gets it out of there. Again, a returnable kick. There's another marker down, a return of 11 after a punt of only 35.
In all likelihood, it'll be someone downfield against Cincinnati or holding. Either one of the two. When you see what happens when you bobble the ball, it just throws everything out of whack.
Al Roberts, a longtime special teams coach in the NFL.
Say, these officials tonight are having a lot of discussions.
Holding. Number 88 in the offense. Penalties decline. First down.
It's Brian Kinchin, the backup tight end. The Ravens defense doing its job as well. It has been all Ravens so far. Zaire again to throw on first down. Wide open, Jermaine Lewis. 73 yards. Jermaine Lewis had been averaging 32 yards a catch. I guess it wasn't good enough.
Watch what he does to Ashley Ambrose. You talk about quicks for a guy. He gets Ashley Ambrose, number 33, the lower part of your screen. A little hesitation, stop and go. Ambrose's feet just goes out from under him. I think that's the hardest throw in football to make when a guy is so totally wide open. Terrific job by Zaire and Lewis.
Jermaine Lewis's third touchdown catch of the season, and that'll get his average up to about 40 yards a catch. Ambrose burned on that one, and Eric Zaire has missed only once all night. 21-0. The Ravens, before a sellout crowd of almost 70,000, whipping up on the Cincinnati Bengals. The second game ever in what they refer to as the new stadium at Camden Yards. Tremaine Mack awaits Stover's kick. A yard deep to the 23. Friday at 8, ESPN 2 debuts Friday Night Fights. Andrew Galata battles Tim Witherspoon in the main event. Our classic fight features the greatest, Muhammad Ali. For boxing's best show, join Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman on ESPN 2's Friday Night Fights. This is the setting and the atmosphere that Art Modell had hoped for when he moved the franchise here from Cleveland, and he's got it. A beautiful stadium and a team on the verge of being a factor in the NFL. Darnay Scott juggled and caught it at the 37-yard line.
It's really important that the Cincinnati Bengals on offense just don't abandon any type of a game plan. You still have to run the play-action passes. They still have to try and run the football. There's a lot of time left in this football game, but the important thing is the offense has got to buy time for that defense to get a chance to regroup and get some rest.
First down play calling has killed him. Flag is down. Corey Dillon gets to the 40. Jamie Sharper was in on the stop. And this will come back. O'Donnell 3 out of 5 for 33 yards so far. He's drawn comparisons to Kenny Anderson.
Building the formation. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Because he's been so incredibly accurate.
Yeah, but he's not going to get it done with 9 weeks of work. Remember,
exactly.
Neil O'Donnell just joined the Cincinnati Bengals 1 week before training camp started. So Ken Anderson has not had a chance to really get him to understand the offense completely.
O'Donnell wants a screen. And Baltimore not fooled at all. There's another flag down. O'Donnell started backpedaling, and the Ravens started running toward Corey Dillon.
Well, you know what? It's unbelievable that the entire defensive line read the screen. Not one, not two, all of them. And when O'Donnell threw the ball, there were 4 big purple shirts. Huge. Saragusa said, how come he didn't throw it to me?
Illegal man downfield, number 77 of the offense. Penalties decline. Second down.
That Sargent that was downfield, I think they were all downfield, but when you look at this thing, watch what O'Donnell sees. Look to the right of the screen, folks, and look at the defensive linemen. They're all over there. I've never seen it. I've seen 1 or 2, but not all of them.
They might not want to call that one again.
I don't think so.
That's been scouted well. O'Donnell throws as he was hit. It's incomplete. Peter Boulware, the second-year linebacker from Florida State, showing you that speed.
The guy that he patterns himself after is Derek Thomas. He wants to be like DT. And what I mean by that is as he comes around the corner, watch him dip and go. See how he squares up? He tries to lower himself and then come in low. How many times have we seen Derek Thomas do that? That's what Peter Boulware would like to perfect. That's a good start on it right there.
Made the transition last year from defensive end at FSU to outside linebacker. Here comes the blitz. O'Donnell rolls away from it. Under pressure, Jamie Sharper with his first sack of the year.
Well, they're trying to run another screen. And Cornell Brown is the guy number 51 for the Ravens that reads it. So he is sitting out with the back. There's no place for Neil O'Donnell to throw the ball. When he turns back to look, Sharper's there. Neil O'Donnell's going to roll to his right and try to screen back to his left. Watch what happens. He goes over here. When he looks back, there's no one to throw to, and Sharper is there.
This is an emotional freight train that is running over the Cincinnati Bengals. Lewis at the 34. Marker down. We'll check the penalty after a return of 10. Steve Bush made the tackle.
This is going to be hitting the man out of bounds again for the Ravens. They're doing such an unbelievable job on the Gunners that once they knock them out of bounds, they have to leave them alone. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct again against the Ravens.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 85 of the receiving team went out of bounds to hit a member of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's one thing to be able to hold the guy up and run him out of bounds. Patrick Johnson here. Now, you can't hit him. He hits him. He's out of bounds. It's a penalty.
In Baltimore's Inner Harbor, that's the ESPN zone, one of the hot spots on the East Coast, in fact, not just Baltimore.
We were there Friday night. It was hot.
I was there today, too.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's great. You know what's the food is fantastic. Not to mention all the games and stuff, but the food is great.
The Ravens have not been stopped as yet. Priest Holmes. Reverses his field twice and got something out of it. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots. Solomon.
Yeah, Mike, on the 73-yard touchdown reception by Jermaine Lewis, Bengals quarterback Ashley Ambrose slipped and fell down. Now, the equipment manager for the Bengals went inside to get a new pair of shoes with longer cleats, but when he came back out on the field, Ashley Ambrose was out on the field trying to stop this Baltimore offense, and he's out there in the same shoes that caused the problem in the first place. Mike?
All right, Solomon, thanks. Might be a little late to be changing shoes. That's something you're supposed to find out in pregame drills. Potts, the lead blocker. Priest home. Got it to the 23.
We've talked about Jonathan Ogden on the left side. We've talked about Roosevelt Potts. The big guy, Eric Green, that time, the tight end, who's down about 25 pounds, but still is a small building, gets out front. Here comes number 86 across. Now he gets up on Renard Wilson. He just creates a wall. Sure, he grabs him a little bit, but doesn't let him anywhere near the ball carrier. Just a little, Paulie. Just a little.
I'd like to know how you grab a guy a little bit. Either grab him or grab him.
These are big blockers on linebackers.
If you grab him a lot, it's a penalty.
True. 3rd and 6. Straight 4-man rush. Almost picked off by Hawkins, the rookie. Nothing but grass in front of him.
You know, there were 2 plays out of these 3 that were bad. First, Priest Holmes going to the hole, stopping and dancing around and not getting any yardage. And then this throw right here, trying to force the ball in to Green. It was almost picked off for a touchdown.
Well, Eric Zier is not the tallest guy, and sometimes you got a Jonathan Ogden at 6'8" over there, and you're Eric Zier and you're 6'1". You're not going to see a whole lot.
Kyle Richardson to punt to Damon Gibson. Very good return man. Low line drive kick. That'll draw a flag. Williams was downfield, and he interfered with Gibson's opportunity to catch that ball.
Williams, number 36, running down. Figured he's going to wrap him as soon as he catches the ball. Well, it didn't happen.
Scott O'Brien's special teams tonight have really committed a lot of mistakes.
Interference at the opportunity to catch the kick. On a kicking team. A 15-yard penalty. First down.
Scotty O'Brien, one of the best special teams coaches in football. You see Williams come down. Now he just doesn't give Gibson a chance to make a play on the ball. You have to allow the punt returner an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and he did not. Good call by the official.
That's the 3rd flag against the Ravens special teams. 35 yards in penalties, and it will put the ball across midfield for the Bengals. Dillon on the delay. Picks up about 9. Monday Night Countdown tomorrow night at 6:30 Eastern. Join Mike Tirico, Sterling Sharp, and Tom Jackson for the latest news around the league and a complete preview of the Monday night matchup. Then at 8 on ABC, it's Monday Night Football. Warren Sapp and the Tampa Bay Bucks against Barry Sanders and the Lions. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for primetime NFL football. The enemy close to a first down. Mike Frederick made the tackle.
Mike, Joe, they run on the last series of downs. They run 2 screens in a row. Neither one of them worked. Now they run a quick draw to Corey Dillon. And then they come right back with it again, the exact same play to the enemy.
Well, he picked up 7 yards with it the first time. And really, I like the fact that Ken Anderson says, hey, look, I got something out of something one time. I'm going to keep doing it until they force me away from it. In particular, when you have a short yardage situation and your guys are finally blocking something. And it is a first down for Cincinnati.
The statistics are overwhelming. Rushing yards 90-17, passing 120-10. The time of possession doubled. This has been a whipping so far by the Ravens.
And the only ones making mistakes, you made a great point, are the special teams guys.
Special teams, right. They're the ones that have committed some penalties that have created opportunities for the Bengal offense.
Play action by O'Donnell. Little swing pass right in the hands of Marco Battaglia. He dropped it. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, Bengals cornerback Artrell Hawkins seems to have injured his right knee. They're trying to loosen him up over here on the sidelines. He's trying to backpedal, but he's not having any success at all. He may have to come out the game. The doctors are talking to him right now, and of course, they cannot lose him. Corey Sawyer is already out of this game as it is. Mike?
Solomon, that makes them so very thin at corner. Hawkins has played very, very well as a rookie. 2nd and 10. O'Donnell unloads in a hurry, and down at the 31 is Carl Pickens. Deron Jenkins right there with him. Good throw again by O'Donnell.
Even if the Ravens want to come after Neil O'Donnell, they're probably not going to have a lot of success getting to him. He reads the defenses so well. He will get the ball out. And it's up to his receivers, Scott and Pickens, to make plays like Carl did on that one.
I like what Pickens told us yesterday. When you asked him, he said, how are you guys doing? You're on the same page? He said, not yet. Neil O'Donnell, really, I don't know what he's going to do, and he still doesn't know what I'm going to do.
Bieniemy is in on 3rd and 3. Bieniemy with the carry, nothing doing. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage, and McCrary led the charge from the defensive end spot.
Michael McCrary gets off the ball. It's like he knows the count. Number 99, we've called his name and number a dozen times. Watch this. He is in the backfield. Sargent doesn't make a block. He makes a tackle for a loss.
Cincinnati wants a timeout to talk it over on 4th and 3. We'll be back to Baltimore after this. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam, high above the new stadium in Camden Yards for ESPN's Sunday Night Football. Big decision here by Bruce Coslett. 6:35 to go in the second quarter, down 21-0, and he will go for it. Bieniemy, the single setback. Incomplete. Flags are down. Pickens was covered by Jenkins. That's the play that was successful earlier.
Corners like to try and get physical with Carl Pickens.
Pass interference. Number 25 in the defense. Penalized after spot on the foul. First down.
You figure the best thing you can do is try and get physical with him on the line of scrimmage because he's so big, and try and hold him off. Look at his left arm. His left arm is hanging on to him, and the official on the outside sees him grabbing that shirt, and he ain't going to get away with that one.
If they see that shirt move, it's a flag.
Every single official threw a flag. Like 6 flags hit him.
Big first down for the Bengals. Let's see if they can take advantage. O'Donnell dumps it off. Dillon to the 20.
Good job by that offensive line of the Bengals. They're giving O'Donnell an opportunity to step up in the pocket. If the Ravens are going to be successful against Neil O'Donnell, it's going to be by putting pressure on him up the middle and not allowing him to step forward.
Well, that's what Peter Boulware told us yesterday. Our job is to force Neil O'Donnell out and not up.
Second and 4. Dillon in the backfield. Guess who? McCrary.
Now
he's something.
Well, now I know why Cincinnati worries about McCrary when they play him.
The problem you run into here, and Coslett and Anderson trying to figure it out, Sargent tries to cut him. McCrary, he hurdles him. He just goes around him like he's not even blocked. I think the way to try and take this guy on is to somehow get your body in front of him. Because if you go low on him, he's way too athletic, and he'll just hurdle you.
Or hold him.
3rd and 6. O'Donnell against the blitz, and Jones got there for the sack. right up the middle.
Neil O'Donnell is not going to run away from you on the perimeter of the formation and hurt you. You have to put pressure on him up the middle, and that's exactly what the Ravens did. Watch the middle come right side of your screen. Here comes Boulware right up the middle. There's the sack with Jones.
And they're going to go for it on 4th down again. Well, if they went before, why not go again?
Why not?
You figure if you punt and it goes in the end zone, you only gain 10 yards because they're on the 30.
3 sacks for 31 yards for that Raven defense. The crowd on its feet, and O'Donnell with the play clock running down takes a timeout.
If I'm the Baltimore Ravens in this situation, I come after Neil O'Donnell because there's no threat of run. He's not going to scramble away and make a play with his legs, and you don't want to give him the opportunity to allow his receivers to get downfield 15 yards. That's why I would just let McCrary and company go.
For up-to-date scores, stats, and analysis on all the NFL action, you can log on to ESPN.com. For all the latest news and notes from around the league, log on to NFL.com. This week's profile, Seahawks wide receiver Joey Galloway, plus chat with Chargers quarterback Ryan Leaf, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Is Ryan talking or is he yelling this week? They had kids had a tough run the last couple weeks.
Yes, he has.
I'll tell you, now if you're Cincinnati, you might not even think about going for it. You might say to yourself, "No, let's try and get some points."
They've got Pelfrey on to try a field goal. He has only had 4 attempts so far this year, as long as 37. This will be 47. One of the most accurate kickers of all time, Doug Pelfrey. And knocks it through. Cincinnati on the board with 4:45 to go in the second quarter.
I think it's important that you get something out of a drive. A couple things happened on that drive for Cincinnati. It was a short one. They got the ball in Raven territory, but they did get a couple of first downs, and they managed to come away with some points. But more importantly, they've rested their defense a little bit.
And 4th and long is not a play you make a whole lot.
4th and 15 with a quarterback that has to stay in a pocket to allow receivers to go that distance. There's no percentage in. That was a good decision by Coslett and Anderson.
All right, QB. Is there a 4th and 15 play? When you look at it, I mean, you look at a sheet.
If you've got a quarterback that can move a little bit, yeah. What you do is you have to buy time for receivers to get downfield. We used to call it a dash. You drop back 3 or 4 yards and then sprint out towards the number, set up and go. Talked about Peter Boulware. That's Derek Thomas on the left. You see him come around. Now watch him drop and make the turn. Look at that angle. See his left leg how it plants. Now here comes Peter Boulware from the other side. Same thing. Same exact angle. If he wants to mirror somebody, he's done it pretty well so far.
Well, we asked Peter Boulware yesterday, who have you watched? And you brought that up before. It was Derek Thomas. And then Joe said, anybody else? And Peter said, who else?
Why?
Well, yeah, who else?
21-3, Lee Johnson set to kick it off to Holmes and Patrick Johnson. That's Priest Holmes, who's had a huge first half and may have stolen the starting running back job permanently. Patrick Johnson, world-class speed across the 30. Sam Shade made the stop on special teams.
When you look at the scope of a game, this is a very critical series for the Baltimore Ravens on offense. You say, gee whiz, they got an 18-point lead. Why would that be? Because if they go 3 and out and Cincinnati manages to put something together before the half, they go in feeling pretty good about what Neil O'Donnell and that offense can do.
It is always a game of momentum, and Jay Graham is in there at tailback to give Priest Holmes a little breather. Sire to throw on first down. The big tight end, Eric Green, made the catch. It was funny when you asked Bruce Coslett, how do you stop Eric Green? He says, you just tackle him after he catches the ball.
Well, the guy is really huge, and he's an excellent blocker. But the thing about him, Joe, that stands out more than anything else is his great hands, soft hands.
It's a gain of 7, 2nd and 3. They'll try it on the ground with Jay Graham. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots.
Yeah, Mike, Bengals cornerback Artrell Hawkins has twisted his right knee, and his return is questionable. They're going to need him in this game, and Thomas Randolph has to fill in for Artrell Hawkins at this point. Mike?
Solomon, he's the free agent pickup from the New York Giants, and he is in there in Dick LeBeau's lineup right now. Jay Graham with that last carry looked a little hesitant, which was one thing Priest Holmes has not been when he's been in there. And there's Artrell Hawkins. 3rd and short. Graham cuts this one straight up the middle of midfield.
Boy, there were 2 great blocks in there. Jeff Blackshear was one of them, and also Roosevelt Potts going up into the hole, number 42 again. 69 and 42. I mean, it was just unbelievable the way this hole opens up. Here it comes. Look at Roosevelt Potts. Bam! I mean, the hit is there. Graham, you're in the hole.
Another first down for the Ravens. Fake the end around. Zaire in trouble, and he is sacked back at the 42. Lost the football. Cincinnati has it. It's loose again, but they'll rule it down inside the 35-yard line. Michael Bankston, the longtime player for the Cardinals, made the recovery. Big break, Cincinnati.
It's exactly what I was talking about. All the pressure now was on that offense of the Ravens to do something with it. Good coverage. They had a little fake reverse set up. The Bengals didn't buy it, managed to cover people, and put the pressure on Zaire. There's a little fake reverse. Zaire now makes a good decision, tries to protect the ball. Man, I'll tell you, those big guys get grabbing you. Clyde Simmons, they can squeeze it out. And Jonathan Ogden makes the tackle.
Corey Dillon splits the defense down to the 26-yard line, tripped up by Tyrus McLeod. Joe, you talked about a critical series for Baltimore. It's even more critical right now for Cincinnati to take advantage of this break.
You mentioned, and Michael, you mentioned momentum. All of a sudden now Cincinnati scores, their defense comes up with the play, the momentum shifts.
Whistles blow. We have reached the 2-minute warning at the new stadium in Baltimore, where the Ravens have a big lead. 21-3 Ravens. Look at the screens at either end of this beautiful facility. These are absolutely magnificent. Joe, you have one of those in your rec room, don't you?
Actually, I have one downstairs and one upstairs, Mike, but yeah.
Coming up on the Toyota halftime report, Chris Berman, the fastest 3 minutes in television. You'll see Mark Maguire, 69 and 70 today. And the wild card in the National League is still up for grabs. And you'll see that tomorrow on ESPN. 70 home runs. Unbelievable.
That is so wonderful, isn't it? Congratulations, Big Mac. It is special. And Sammy, both.
Dillon, nice hole. Dillon inside the 15-yard line.
We talked about it earlier. Like I said, we focused on the Ravens' offensive line. Cincinnati's doing a nice job of creating holes inside.
Number 65, the center, Brills. I mean, he just gets a sensational block. Here he comes off the ball and back on right there. Number 65, Brills. Oh.
Dillon now has 43 yards rushing in this half. Dillon again. Near the 10. Another good block by Brills, who started as a replacement player in 1987.
The Bengals have no timeouts.
Second, call it 6. O'Donnell, the quick out to Milne, the fullback, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. Very close to a first down. Depends on the mark of the official.
It's a good job by Neil O'Donnell, knowing that he doesn't have any timeouts and saying, okay, how can I pick up some positive yards and stop the clock? Get it to my fullback out of bounds.
Milne was a guy they missed. He did not play the first 2 weeks because of a back problem. It's a very good blocker and a good receiver out of Penn State.
Yesterday, Bruce Coslet, when he came in, Solomon Wilcots said about the running game. What's the matter with it? What do you mean, what's the matter with it? It was only last week, though. I mean, it was Corey Dillon just did not play very well. But Bruce Coslet, I'll tell you, he says, I have a young football team. They're going to make a lot of mistakes, but as long as they hit somebody on the way.
Less than the length of a football. It will be 3rd down. .58 seconds left on the first half clock. The Raven defense trying to get the crowd support. And they've succeeded. Dillon didn't get it. Corey Harris came up from his safety spot to make the tackle. What a play on defense.
But Deron Jenkins forces him to hurdle and go lateral. That's what you're looking for. Get those safeties and corners to penetrate, make the running back go sideways.
Clock running, no timeouts. 4th down. O'Donnell looks for Pickens and overthrown. Flag is down in the end zone. Deron Jenkins was covering Carl Pickens.
But I really think they got to look at this as an uncatchable ball. This ball is thrown so high, I'm not sure that it's a catchable ball. And I think that's what the conference is right now between the officials.
If they call holding or an illegal chuck, it wouldn't matter. But if it's interference, it would.
Oh, Pickens runs a little out and starts to go upfield. Now, there's the incident. There's a little bit of everything pushing. But watch where the ball lands. That ball lands way out of bounds.
The ball is placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
They do call interference.
They call pass interference. They don't call holding. If it's holding, it would be an automatic first down, but only half the distance to the goal line. But if it's pass interference in the end zone, it puts the ball on the 1.
Well, I think he'd have had to have been 8 feet tall to catch that one. O'Donnell wants to throw. Touchdown Pickens.
It's the exact scenario I talked about when the Raven offense went on the field with about 4 minutes to go. You don't want to make a mistake and let a team back in. The Cincinnati Bengals have too many weapons on offense and are able to create opportunities to score.
Pelfrey on for the point after. Pickens with his first touchdown reception of the season. And what was 21-0 is now 21-10.
If you're a defensive back, you can't get caught up looking in the backfield in goal line and short yardage situations. See his head? He's looking in here. He doesn't see Carl Pickens come across and make the play. He's looking in the backfield. He bites. He thinks it's a run. Holy mackerel, where did Carl go? Durrani's right there with the ball.
You know, you're absolutely right. You know the thing about it? Watch, it's play action. I mean, let the linemen and linebackers take care of the running game. You have no part in it anyway. Just cover downfield.
And one other thing in play action passing, terrific job by the line selling it, and O'Donnell delivering when he has to.
For Carl Pickens, his 53rd career touchdown catch, and that ties him with a great Isaac Curtis, #1 all-time in Cincinnati's record book.
Well, you know, these last 2 drives, what we've seen is Cincinnati's offensive line start to take a little control of this ball game.
Well, it was something they had to do, or they might as well have taken the bus home at halftime.
Well, you can tell him he's just sitting there talking to Jenkins. He said, look at it, you know, your job is to cover the receiver. You're not going to make the tackle in the backfield.
17 seconds to go in the half. Cincinnati back in the game. Priest Holmes waits at the 10 along with Patrick Johnson. Little squib kick taken by one of the up men back to the 45-yard line. Kenyon Cotton, the backup fullback, gets all the way to midfield, and they'll blow it dead with 9 seconds left in the half. Friday at 8, ESPN 2 debuts Friday Night Fights. Andrew Galata battles Tim Witherspoon in the main event. Our classic fight features the greatest, Muhammad Ali. From boxing's best show, join Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman on ESPN 2's Friday Night Fights. Tell you one thing, you fight Galata, you don't come out protecting your chin.
No, you wear other types of protection. The Ravens have an opportunity here to pick up enough yards to have a shot at a field goal, which would be a big lift for them if they can take it to a 14-point lead.
They have 2 timeouts, so they can stop the clock. More than likely, they'll only get 1 play. They need about 15 yards to make it a 52-yard effort. Zaire hits Lewis.
He's got to go down.
Got to get down. They've got to call the timeout, and they did not get it, I believe.
Bad decision. He could have fallen down himself and called the timeout. Instead, he tried to make a play. That's what happens with young receivers.
That's the end of the first half in Baltimore with the score. The Ravens 21, the Bengals 10. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Toyota halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. This has been an unbelievable day in the world of sports. From top to bottom, the fastest 3 minutes coming in football in just a moment. But just think about what happened in baseball today, starting with the home run record. Now, of course, it took 34 years to move it from 60 to 61, from Root to Maris. It took 37 years to break 61. And now today, break it, shattered it, a preposterous number. Mark Maguire began the day in St. Louis with 68 home runs. Unbelievable what he was able to accomplish. Third inning against Montreal. Breaking ball from Mike Thurman. Gone! Home run number 69 for Big Mac. Had 2 yesterday. Could he do it again? You betcha. Bottom 7th. The proverbial frozen rope off Carl Pavano. 70 home runs for Mark Maguire. Afterwards, no one wanted to leave the park. Hey, Mac, thanks from all of us.
It's unheard of for somebody to hit 70 home runs. I'm like in awe of myself right now.
Everyone's in awe of what Maguire has done, what Sosa has done, what the Yankees have done, what so many have done. More on Sosa and the wild card race in a moment. In the 90s, in football, 32 of 39 teams that have started 3-0 have made it to the playoffs. The odds get even better when you make it to 4-0. So here we go with the fastest 3 minutes. The Denver Broncos have begun 3-0. John Elway sitting with the hamstring problem. Bubby Brister, a couple of touchdowns. This one to Ed McCaffrey at Washington. Terrell Davis could go all the way for TD, 489 yards and 6 TDs thus far. Denver's 4-0. They win 38-16. Jerome Bettis, finally a big day for him as the Steelers at home against the Seahawks. He had 138 yards. Later in a defensive game, Fuamatu Ma'afala. The play is shorter than the name. Touchdown pitch from Cordell Stewart. The Steelers beat the Seahawks, who lose for the first time 13-10. Brett Favre against Carolina. Threw 5 touchdown passes. 3 to Derek Mays. He threw for 388 yards. With 2 seconds to go, though, Carolina down by a touchdown. What? Incomplete. Packers are 4-0. They win 37-30. Vikings look to go 4-0 against the Bears. Bears lead at half. 4 touchdown passes for Randall Cunningham. This to Randy Moss. Minnesota is 4-0. They win 31-28. Jaguars trying to go 4-0. They're at Tennessee. Mark Brunell, he's a tough customer. You betcha. Stiff arms a defender. The Jags lead 27-22. Dave Craig in for an injured Steve McNair. Joel Schmengi forces the fumble. Jags go to 4-0, 27-22. Niners and Falcons begin the day 2-0. But as is always the case, Steve Young and Jerry Rice ruin the Falcons, especially in San Francisco. 66-yard touchdown. Young to Rice again. Young had almost 400 yards passing, 8 catches for Rice, 31-20 the Niners. Danny Werfel, last minute of regulation. Touchdown Andre Hastings, they tie the Colts. In overtime, Peyton Manning picked off by Tyrone Drakeford in a 13-all game. 2 plays later, Werfel to Cam Cleveland. The Saints are 3-0. They march into a 19-13 win. Werfel over Manning all 3 times, 2 in college, 1 in pro. Raiders and Cowboys, Jeff George. Watch this play. Kevin Smith, whoop, makes the play, but James Jett makes the catch. Their Raiders beat the Cowboys 13-12. Chiefs at the Eagles. Rich Loose Gannon from the Philly area. 57 yards to Joe Little Bighorn. 2 plays later, 1 of 3 touches for Donnell Bennett to offset 3 TDs for Deuce Staley, who's now Ace Staley, but the Chiefs win 24-21. Giants at Chargers. Ryan Lee, abysmal last week, tries to come back. Picked off 4 times, 2 by Percy Ellsworth. This one for a touch, 34-16 Giants. Cardinals in their old home in St. Louis for the first time since they left in '87. Jake Plummer, Frank Sanders, touchdown. Cardinals go in to beat the St. Louis Rams 20-17. Tomorrow, Monday Night Countdown with Mike Tirico and the guys at 6:30 Eastern Time gets you set for Monday Night Football. The incredible Barry Sanders against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in an NFC Norris matchup at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC's Monday Night Football.
This halftime report is presented by Toyota. Get the most out of your day, every day.
When we return, how wild could the wild card get? Sammy and the Cubs, the Giants, and the Mets. Only one gets in the postseason.
Welcome back to the Toyota Halftime Report with your host, Chris Berman.
Welcome back, everybody. 21-10 Baltimore over Cincinnati at the half. Well, all the spots taken in baseball for the postseason, which begins on Tuesday, except for one, the National League wild card race. Boiled down to the Chicago Cubs, and we all know they're longtime suffering fans. The New York Mets, who had their hands on the pie until they let it slip away this week. And the Giants, who a week ago Thursday were 5 games out. We begin the final day as a tale of 3 cities. Cubs and Giants begin tied for first. The Mets 1 out. And Greg Maddux usually kills you on the mound. Atlanta's Greg Maddux killed the Mets at the plate. A double scoring Eddie Perez. Then Maddux gave way to Dennis Martinez and others. The Mets gone. They lose 7-2 in Atlanta. That left 2 teams. Cubs at Houston. Sammy Sosa, home run number 67. No, but a key RBI. He has 158 to lead the majors. And the Cubs would lead it 3-1. The Astros tie it in the 8th, 3-3. Rod Beck, bases loaded. But he gets Ricky Gutierrez to fly to center field, and we go to the 11th, tied at 3. Meanwhile, Colorado at home hosting the Giants. Joe Carter, home run. The Giants lead 7-0. But in the 7th inning, 2-run homer, Colorado's Vinny Castilla, 8-7 Rockies. In the 8th inning, the Giants battle back. Jeff Clark Kent, home run number 31, 8-8. At 6:08 Eastern, 5:08 Central with the bases loaded. 1 out. Richard Hidalgo. Sack fly. Carl Everett. Home. Cubs lose 4-3 to the Stros. If the Giants can win, they're in. Within a minute. 5:09 Central, 4:09 Mountain Time. Nathan Perez leads off the 9th against Rob the Flying Men with a homer. Dusty Baker's Giants lose 9-8. Wow. So the Cubs and Giants in a flat-footed tie in the NL wildcard race, a special 1-game playoff. Tomorrow night at Wrigley, our coverage begins at 7:45 Eastern, 6:45 Central, 5:45 Mountain, 4:45 Pacific. Mark Gardner against Steve Blood on the Traxel. Imagine it's Marichal and Ferguson Jenkins. It'll be just as good. The winner goes on to play the Atlanta Braves in a series beginning on Wednesday. The majority of the divisional playoffs here on ESPN starting Tuesday at 1 o'clock with the Red Sox against the Indians. Following that will be Houston and San Diego. More later on. Of course, we're going back to Baltimore And during the high holy days, can you believe that Priest Holmes has 2 touchdowns for Baltimore? They lead at 21-10 at the half. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
We're at halftime in Baltimore, Maryland, where it's 21-10. The Ravens over the Bengals. Both teams 1-2 going into a bye week, both desperate for a victory. The first half statistics early dominated by the Ravens. The Bengals starting to make some impact, even though they still have only 69 total yards to 250 for the Baltimore Ravens.
One of the reasons for that is that they got back on the scoreboard is because mainly special teams.
And their defense created the 1 turnover, and they managed to capitalize on it.
The Bengals will get the ball to start the second half. Tremaine Mack from the 3. Tremaine Mack in a foot race. Starts the only man who can catch it. And he does it. A 97-yard kickoff return for Tremaine Mack. Holy cow, what a way to start the half.
Did I just mention something about special teams?
Yeah, you did. Baltimore special teams. Scott O'Brien cannot be thrilled at all. You take a look at it from the end zone here. The goalpost cam will give you a perfect view of what Mack sees. There comes the ball. Now, you see him create the hole on the right. Bieniemy does a nice job. But then here's the acceleration. There's absolutely no way that he's going to be caught by Matt Stover. You get one move and one move only.
The point after makes it a 4-point ball game. The crowd here in Baltimore is stunned. Let's go to Solomon Wilcots. Solomon, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, in talking to the Bengals head coach, Bruce Coslett, he says he would like to stay with his running game, and Corey Dillon depends on what happened on the drive. Well, guess what? They returned the kick for a touchdown. That means they are back into this ball game. He wants to continue to use Corey Dillon as the workhorse. He believes that his running game has been very productive. On the defensive side of the ball, cornerback Artrell Hawkins, it's said that he's had a hyperextended right knee. They're working him out as we speak. They want him to get back into the ball game. Thomas Randolph is in for him, and they have to play Rick Matthias as their 3rd cornerback, a guy who has not seen much action so far this season. Mike?
Solomon, thank you. I'm sure Ravens fans won't want to be reminded of this, but they will remember it. Week 5 last year, they led Pittsburgh 21-0 early in the second quarter and lost it 42-34. Is this just a frightening coincidence?
Well, I'll tell you, the Bengals have the weapons to score that many points. And again, we talked about the onus being on this Raven offense. It's right on their shoulders again.
You know, the problem is, too, that Starks is basically number 22. He is a safety on the kickoff team. He's supposed to be in the lane to make the play. He wasn't there. And he really, I agree with you. Matt Stover's not going to make the tackle.
Special teams has really hurt the Ravens tonight. Their other 2 units have played very, very well. Priest Holmes, who was the first half rushing star, hoping to answer for the Ravens. Another good kick by Johnson. And a good decision by Patrick Johnson to keep Priest Holmes in the end zone.
That's a hey, you're not coming out. I don't care what you want to do. Get in there. Stay there.
Tackle him.
This is great. Priest Holmes says, I can do it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Patrick Johnson says, no. Stay. Whoa. You stay there. Whoa, trigger.
That is his job. He's the guy. Priest Holmes may lose track of where he is on the field. Patrick Johnson's the traffic cop. Holmes back in at tailback. Priest Holmes on the tall sweep. Another good hard run to the 37. Renard Wilson, another Florida State player, made the tackle.
Other than one play in that first half where Priest Holmes kind of danced around a little bit, didn't get to the hole, and they were coming right at us here, Joe. There is a little crack. As soon as he sees that crack, he gets up into the hole. He picked up 6 yards on the play. Following Jonathan Ogden. Jonathan Ogden's blocking. Williams gets outside, seals off. 6-yard gain.
Priest Holmes has just gone over the 100-yard mark in the first start of his career. What a debut for the young man from Texas.
And the thing that I'm impressed with the way he runs the football is he runs between the tackles. Now, I'll grant that when you got Zeus, Orlando Brown, 77 as a tackle, and Jonathan Ogden, you can do it. But the guy that continues to lead the way is Rosie Potts. He gets on spikes and allows Holmes the opportunity to continue to run.
Zier with good time to the big tight end Eric Green out to the 48-yard line. What a target, a gain of 17. Zier has been extremely impressive.
You know, we talked about Priest Holmes running with the football. Watch this guy block, number 33. He picks up the blitzing. I think it's Spikes 51. Watch 33. Yeah, here comes Spikes. Watch the block. Bam! Down Spikes goes. Zier has a place to throw the football. It's completed.
He's now Eric Zier's best friend. Zier, a little double clutch and throws it away. There was Jermaine Lewis within about 7 yards of that ball. Big possession for the Ravens. We mentioned before the momentum has totally shifted in favor of Cincinnati, and there are the numbers on Eric Zier. Dick LeBeau has yet to get the blitz to be effective tonight for his defense. Here they come. Zier lost his helmet and the football. He got the important part back.
And that came off his blind side. He was so focused on the right side of the field that he never saw both of them coming off his left shoulder. You're going to see Spikes. There they comes. Here comes Hawkins from the corner from way out. Spikes gets a shot at him. Hawkins forces the ball loose. Zier fights to make a big recovery.
Spikes is coming across. He just waits until Jonathan Hawkins occupied and he comes in and makes the play.
And that may have broken the communication device in his helmet. He got a new helmet from Harbaugh. Play clock almost ran out. Zier in trouble. Priest Holmes on the little dump off. And he got it out to the 47-yard line. Renard Wilson and Takeo Spikes were after it.
Well, that's the one thing Bruce Cousins told us about this defense. He said they're going to make a lot of mistakes because they're very young, but they're going to come after you. They make honest mistakes.
And it also shows the importance of the Ravens gaining some yards on 1st and 10 and not getting into long yardage situations when they can come after them.
Gibson drops back to his 10. A wobbler. He'll make a fair catch up at the 17-yard line, a punt of 36. Takeo Spikes making a big play on defense. Exactly what the Bengals needed. Nearly dehorned the quarterback. The rejuvenated Cincinnati Bengals back in this ball game. At one point down 21-0. They have closed the gap to 4. O'Donnell with a short completion up to about the 23 to Darnay Scott. For those of you just tuning in and wondering what that gold-colored line on the field is, It is our latest technical innovation called ESPN's 1st and 10. While the line looks like it's painted on the field, it's actually electronically generated by us. It is a visual reference for you to always know the yard line an offense has to reach for a first down. It's ESPN's 1st and 10. Dillon cuts it back, breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. It's a first down out to the 37-yard line.
The first 2 games of the season, Marvin Lewis, the defensive coordinator, was happy with the way they tackled. The last 2 weeks, they have not tackled well. Watch the left side of the line. They just cave it all in. Now Dillon does a nice job of running, cuts back 1 missed tackle, 2 missed tackles. Woodson finally gets him down.
Draw play, Dillon tripped up in the backfield, James Jones.
And once again, we saw this in the first half with Baltimore as they're putting pressure up the middle. Now that time they try to run a draw play, the pressure is up the middle. Jones makes the tackle.
The one thing that has been noticeably missing, I think, for the Ravens on defense has been the athletic plays of a Ray Lewis in a situation like this.
Absolutely. Good point. 2nd and 13. Here they come. O'Donnell hangs in the pocket and throws complete. Pickens out near the 45-yard line. Corey Harris finally took him down. Nice job by the offensive line that time to pick up the blitz and give O'Donnell time.
Boy, I mean, Neil O'Donnell, and quarterbacks, you feel this. Now look at Pickens. He goes downfield. Watch him come back to the ball. Now this is a smart receiver. He sees Neil O'Donnell step up. He comes back to make sure you make the catch first, then try to get the first down.
The footing apparently not all that great on this turf. You see a lot of chunks coming up. O'Donnell in trouble, got outside. Incomplete. The Cincinnati sideline wants a flag as Deron Jenkins was on top of Pickens.
I tell you, for a quarterback who's not supposed to be very mobile, Neil O'Donnell is doing a terrific job.
He did a good job of getting away from Peter Boulware. Here comes Peter around the corner. He slides. Willie Anderson tries to hang with him. He continues to run. Now Neil does a nice job of escaping and trying to make a play.
They'll punt it away on 4th down. Returnable kick for Lewis. What a block! Oh. Jermaine Lewis. He's gone. For Jermaine Lewis, and Dwayne starts through a hellacious block.
Oh, there's 2 of them, Joe, and Peters gets the other one, number 53.
You kick to this kid, you take your life in your own hands.
Watch this. Here he comes. Here he sets it up so beautifully. There comes one block. There comes the second one. Now look at him direct traffic. Now it's hello, goodbye. You're not going to catch him. What speed, what quickness and speed combined.
His second return punt for a touchdown this year came in averaging over 19 yards, and Art Modell is loving his special teams right now, the way they responded on that kick. The Ravens extend their lead to 11. The quick strike power of Jermaine Lewis has the Ravens ahead by 11, 28-17. Still plenty of time to go from the new stadium at Camden Yards. Tremaine Mack will get another chance, this time from the 11. Bounces off 2 tacklers and cut down at the 15-yard line. Nice tackle by Donnie Brady. Neil O'Donnell comes out. He wants to get the momentum back, just taken away by Baltimore. These overhead shots provided by the Southwest Airlines Aerial Cam high above the new stadium at Camden Yards for ESPN Sunday Night Football. And this one has been a beauty. The Ravens jumped on top early. The Bengals nearly caught them. Now it's an 11-point lead again. Dillon. Out to the 20. Stephon Moore got him. Let's go back to that great punt return.
Jermaine Lewis does such a terrific job of setting this up. You see, this is Thomas Randolph right there. That's Starks right there. Now watch what happens.
Well, he sets him up. He makes a move to the left. Starks picks up the block. And then Peters comes in and makes the other block. But you know the funny part about this, talking to Jermaine yesterday, he said, you know when I'm running the ball, I go boom, bang, bing. But he makes all these noises when he runs.
And then
Wayne Starks was too. O'Donnell on the run. Got out of bounds just in front of Rob Burnett. James Jones also in pursuit.
I like the way Ken Anderson, the offensive coordinator of the Bengals, is calling this game. He is not allowing Neil O'Donnell to be a stationary target, just set up in the pocket. He's moving him to the left, running bootlegs, sliding him a little bit with play action.
Corey Dillon. Almost to the 30. ESPN Sunday Night Football continues next week with a major battle in the AFC West. Warren Moon and the high-flying Seattle Seahawks invade Arrowhead for a showdown with Derek Thomas and the Kansas City Chiefs. Join Joe Theismann, Paul Maguire, and me for all the action right after prime time at 8:15. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive networks for prime time NFL football. O'Donnell got it to Pickens. He's wrapped up in a hurry by Deron Jenkins, but it's a first down.
Everything that Neil O'Donnell has thrown this evening, or almost 99% of the time, is thrown to his left, away from Rod Woodson.
Good choice.
Very astute offensive person. Wouldn't you?
I would, yeah.
Uh-oh, you're thinking like a coordinator, Paul.
Well, I talked to Rod Woodson the other night, Friday night. We were talking to him. He said, you know, the only speed I lost is a little bit with age, not because of injury.
That time, O'Donnell must have heard you. They throw at Woodson and get the completion to Darnay Scott. Gain of 20.
When you can complete a 20-yard pass, that means that the receiver has pushed the defender off. Darnay works upfield. Now, Rod's got to figure he's going up top. He does a good job of coming out, almost slips, makes a nice play on the ball. Darnay Scott working back just to make the reception. Ball slides in. He catches it with his knees, his stomach, and his forearms.
Of course, O'Donnell very familiar with Rod Woodson. They were teammates at Pittsburgh. Corey Dillon. Room to run on the outside. Taken out of bounds by Corey Harris.
Oh, what a nice block by Carl Pickens on the outside. Not only does Carl Pickens catch the ball very well, but he also blocks very well. It isn't a slam dunk block, but it's just good enough to get Corey Dillon to the outside. Number 81 is Carl Pickens. And watch what he does here. He comes back into the inside, and watch the block that he gets on Jenkins.
Yeah, it's illegal, and he pushed him in the back.
But
but it's still a good block.
It's not illegal if you don't get called for it.
I think we said that, right? That's right.
It's a little bit of holding deal.
Same as a little bit of holding, right?
Bieniemy is in to give Dillon a break. O'Donnell guns it. Short catch made by Damon Gibson, the rookie out of Iowa. Right there is Staten.
Yeah, you talk about Neil O'Donnell's ability to throw the football. He is a very high percentage passer. He's going to get the ball off, and the more comfortable he becomes with this offense, the more big plays they'll be able to incorporate because he can keep drives alive with the shorter passes.
I think O'Donnell's always been an underrated quarterback. He wins a lot of games. He completes a lot of passes. He's very smart. Dillon back in and rambles up the middle near the 21-yard line where Jamie Sharper made the tackle. We mentioned Ray Lewis before, the injured middle linebacker, the emotional and physical leader, actually, of the Raven defense. Dislocated an elbow. He's out for this game. They hope he'll be healed after the bye week and be able to play 2 weeks from tonight. He's a great player.
Oh, and the frustration, you can just see it on his face having to watch this.
Dillon. Good job by Sharper to stand him straight up. It depends on the mark. It looks like they had it.
Well, there's a new offensive tackle. He is now number 75, Anthony Brown for Cincinnati. And we talked about McCurry the first half and how many plays he made. Watch this play. Here's Brown. Great footwork. He gets back to the outside and just runs right over McCurry. That's hustle. What I like about Corey Dillon is when he's ready to get tackled, he unloads on the defender.
Solomon Wilcots, I think, explained him very well yesterday. He said he was a pile mover, and that's exactly what he's doing.
O'Donnell, pump fake. Pickens can't hold it. Woodson never saw the ball. He had him beaten.
That was the case of Rod Woodson's reputation that they were playing against. Woodson will look in the backfield. He will bite on pump fakes. Pickens does get behind him. You count on guys. What you do is you count on a guy being aggressive. Here goes Woodson. Pickens goes down, runs a little quick stop. Rod bites, gets a little bit of a hand on him. Carl's got a shot at this one. Can't quite make the play.
O'Donnell has hit 9 of his last 11. An impressive drive here. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Now O'Donnell goes down. McCurry. 24 sacks in the last 26 games. And Neil O'Donnell is down.
It looks like he takes a shot right in the knee.
McCurry is on a stunt. He goes inside. Watch this. He comes inside. The tackle goes outside, and they actually knock him back in to Neil O'Donnell. That was Brill's number 65, the center, that actually knocked McCurry back into Neil O'Donnell.
We will check on the condition of the Bengals quarterback when we come back. Neil O'Donnell left the game holding his left arm and his left wrist. And if you're Jeff Blake, who is the new quarterback for the Bengals, the last place you want to come in is 3rd and 18. But that's what he's got to face. Four-man rush. McCurry! Sacks on consecutive plays for Michael McCrary.
Mike McCrary is up against Anthony Brown, number 75. Brown is 315 pounds. He just bulls him, knocks him back, and really runs Blake down. I don't think that people can appreciate how fast Michael McCrary can accelerate after a quarterback. They're starting to, though.
One of the players that I liked more than anybody in this league for a long time was Ray Childress. There's a lot of Ray Childress in Michael McCrary. 52-yard field goal attempt. He's hit from 48. They botched it. And what a job by Lee Johnson to kick it. Holy cow, what a play by Johnson. How smart is that?
Hey, punters are smart. They are very smart, and they get things done when they have to.
That's what's known as thinking on your feet. Here's a guy that's used to handling the ball, used to handling the bad ball, because the first two tonight have been in the ground. So he's been trying to rush him all night.
Greg Truitt is the snapper, and he's had a tough evening.
You're talking about almost 20 yards worth of turf that he picks up.
I mean,
the ball's on the ground. It's just rolling around. Watch this now. He can't get it down. He sees a little window, a little hole. What do? I kick it. And it keeps rolling right to the commercial.
Tomorrow's headlines tonight: the Bears, first team in NFL history to lose 4 straight where they led at halftime. 9 teams won on the road this week, the best since '93. And the Saints beat the Colts in overtime. They are 3-0, their best start since '93. Welcome to Baltimore. Great play by Lee Johnson on the punt. Fortunately, I have 2 punters up here with me. Nice job, huh, guys?
Well, you know, the one thing about Lee Johnson, what helped him is he's a left-footed kicker, and the ball was going to his left, and he kicked the ball. I thought he did a great job, and punters are supposed to do that.
I would rather be put in the category of a holder than a punter. Thank you very much. We've seen my punting ability, my 1 yard, so it doesn't matter.
Baltimore will take over at the 20-yard line. Priest Holmes. Priest Holmes. To the 34-yard line. A gain of 47 yards. He's had 18 carries for 151. That was really the first thing he's done in the second half.
Well, take a look at the blocking of the offensive line. And we talked about at the beginning of this show, what had to happen is the offensive line blocking. If he gets a crack, which he does here. Now watch this guy. He does this downfield. The moves that he makes. Greg Myers, number 31, misses him. I mean, this is excellent blocking right at the hole, and then he does it by himself.
He had only been used on 3rd down after being the leading rusher in preseason. Holmes again. A flag is down as Holmes pounds his way to the 25-yard line. Now we'll check the marker.
Did you say something in the first half that you think he might have won the job?
I think he's pretty much solidified it, don't you? They're not going to be able to get him out of the starting lineup with a forklift.
Holding. Number 77 in the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
First penalty against the Ravens offense. Bruised ribs is the diagnosis on Neil O'Donnell. His return is questionable. And Jeff Blake would go the rest of the way. The veteran now a backup. Jay Graham is checked in to give Holmes a breather. Zaire to Potts. Roosevelt Potts trying to resurrect his career down to the 34-yard line. He only played a little bit last year after knee problems with Indianapolis and Miami.
And keep in mind that this is the first time in 3 years that the Baltimore Ravens have featured a 2-back offense. They really didn't feel like they had the fullback or could get one over the previous 2 years. So this is somewhat of a new offense, and Potts has proven that it's a heck of a way to get it started.
Is that like just throwing him a crumb?
I was thinking the same thing.
He's just like give a little crumb.
Catch this little ball and don't ask again.
Zaire short set, dumps it to Potts. He liked it so much the first time, they'll do it again. With turf hanging off of his helmet, Roosevelt Potts goes 17 with a pass from Zaire. They are partying in Baltimore, and why not? The new stadium at Camden Yards. They have not named it yet. A state-of-the-art facility that is jammed with nearly 70,000 tonight.
I like that name, the new stadium at Camden Yards.
The Ravens Nest. How's that?
I think we're going to go corporate.
You're going to win 2 free tickets.
They've got the cheerleaders. They've got the old Colts marching band, which stayed together after the team left. They've got them as the new Ravens band. There they are in the end zone. They've got it all going tonight. And they've got a new running back in Priest Holmes, who has lit up Cincinnati's defense. And by the way, Eric Zaire, not a bad job either. He's just been superb. 13 out of 16. Holmes tried to change direction and went down. There's a marker down on the play. That looks like a hold. Ted Marchibroda is as much part of the fabric of football in this city as anyone.
Holding, number 63, the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's Wally Williams, the left guard, who had been the center. He is their franchise player, has switched to left guard.
You know, Ted Marchibroda is not a yeller and a screamer. He really is not. But after the game last week, he just went into the locker room and read these guys the riot act, and it actually worked. He yelled at them during the week of practice. He said they had a great week of practice in this week, and they're doing well.
Zaire short set. Smart play. Just threw this one out of bounds. That's when you know a guy who isn't worried about his stats. He just wants to make the right play. Next on ESPN, it's SportsCenter. Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne standing by. You'll get to see Mark Maguire hit 69 and 70. 162 games is not enough. We've got a playoff. And our primetime conversation with primetime Deion Sanders, who says he is not primetime anymore.
Okay.
You know something? He is always going to be prime time because he's so special.
Neil O'Donnell with injured ribs. We will see if he can return. If not, Jeff Blake will be the quarterback. And another marker.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 63, the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
So after not getting any penalties called on them early on the offense, Baltimore becoming an enemy of its own unit right here. That backs it up to the 33-yard line where it will be 2nd and 25. The significance of this drive, a field goal gives them a 2-touchdown lead.
The officials are putting some more time back on the clock. It's at 14:34 now. Because when the ball wasn't snapped, there should have been any time off. They added the 3 seconds back to 14:37.
We talked in the first half how well this offensive line has done. Now they're starting to self-destruct.
Here comes the blitz. And they got him back at the 40. Takeo Spikes, can he fly? And he went right over Priest Holmes.
Priest Holmes went down to block him. Spikes went over top and nails the quarterback.
What acceleration. Paul, you mentioned it. Bruce Koslick talked about the athletic ability of these young guys. Watch him right over Holmes. He turned into Superman for a minute.
Well, Spikes has already seen it all. 2 straight weeks he got to face Barry Sanders and then Brett Favre. It's got to be easier after that. Now 3rd and 32. Draw play to Holmes. Can't get away, taken down at the line of scrimmage. A good defensive stand, but Baltimore really hurt itself with the penalty.
Takeo Spikes did a good job of not being too aggressive that time. Dick LeBeau had him sit in the middle and just mirror Priest Holmes. When he got the ball, he closed on him and made the play.
So instead of a field goal try, they'll have to punt. Kyle Richardson, who beat out Greg Montgomery for the job, will kick to Damon Gibson. And he put it deep into the end zone. Not a good kick at all. 40 yards, but only 20 net. As Cincinnati will start from there. Spikes with a huge sack. And Jeff Blake will lead the offense when we come back. The ESPN zone in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. A couple of blocks from this beautiful new stadium. Corey Dillon got him around the ankles, took him at the 20. Neil O'Donnell going in for treatment, holding the ribs on the left side. Tony Siragusa in on that last play.
Siragusa got 2 stingers last week, and his hands were still a little bit numb. He only practiced on Friday, but he's a big guy that defense really needs to anchor the middle.
Blake rifles it over the middle. That's complete to Tony McGee. His first catch of the night. Blake lost a job in preseason. In his 7th year, he's thrown 74 touchdown passes, 48 interceptions. 2 years ago, he was exceptional. Last year, he really slumped, and that's why they got Paul Justin in a trade from Indianapolis and then got Neil O'Donnell. 3rd and a yard. Dillon. Nice second effort by Corey Dillon to cross the 30 for the first down. Jamie Sharper made the stop.
I like what Bruce Kosler told us yesterday about Neil O'Donnell. When he talked to him about coming in, he just said, look, I'll give you an equal shot at winning the quarterback's job. It's not Jeff Blake's. I mean, he's the quarterback now, but you're going to have equal time. And Neil O'Donnell in preseason played better.
But I will say this, Jeff Blake has been a real professional through all of it, helping Neil out as much as he can and being ready.
Blake is very mobile, has a very strong arm, trying for Pickens. Pickens got by Jenkins. That's going to be a touchdown. 67 yards, and Pickens got away with a push.
And that is what Carl Pickens has missed. He's missed Jeff Blake throwing the football down the field. You just knew these guys did a great job a couple years ago, and it had to be there somewhere. Carl Pickens just up on Teron Jenkins. Now, he does a nice job of finding the ball. Jenkins can't. He just sort of gives him a little nudge, manages to take the ball and walk into the end zone.
Now, they're lining up to go for 1. You wonder why they wouldn't go for 2. Try to cut it to a field goal.
11 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
But now, instead of 1 score, they have to score twice to take the lead.
I think they feel like they can score touchdowns.
So marker down on the play.
Running into the kicker. 5-yard penalty to be assessed on the kickoff. Point is good.
But still, I understand your explanation, but that decision makes no sense to me. They're down by 4. We're in the 4th quarter. Pickens with a big touchdown. 28-24, Ravens over the Bengals. And if you like your lemonade shaken and not stirred, this is the guy to do it. He's famous at Camden Yards. I wonder if he squeezes it before he brings them all out. The Bengals have cut the lead again. The Ravens have responded every time they've gotten close. Priest Holmes hurdles out to the 19-yard line. As if 162 games wasn't enough, tomorrow at 7:45, the Giants will meet the Cubs to decide the wild card spot in the National League. Then on Tuesday, the division series starts at 1. The Red Sox and the Indians follow it at 4. San Diego and Houston. It all starts at 12:30 with baseball tonight. I guess in this case it would be baseball today. Priest Holmes trying to get outside. Dives to get a couple out to the 21-yard line.
That's a good play by Cincinnati on 1st and 10. You have to keep Baltimore in 2nd and long and 3rd and long if you're going to take advantage of Takeo Spike's ability to rush the passer.
Pickens now the all-time leader. He has caught 2 touchdown passes to go ahead of Isaac Curtis, and he is tied for the reception lead all-time for the Bengals with Isaac Curtis. And Blake made his statement early. Zaire throws to Jackson, very close to a first down. Now they say he juggled the ball and didn't hold it.
There's a guy, Michael Jackson. They haven't thrown to him since the 1st quarter.
Exactly. They started early getting him the ball, and they got away from him.
And this is the play they started the game with. They threw the ball out here to Michael Jackson. He caught it. Here's Michael Jackson. Bobbles, bobbles, bobbles. Now he catches the ball, but the only thing, what they're looking at was his body out of bounds when he finally got control of the ball.
They said he bobbled it.
Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Sire, another strike to Jackson. Michael Jackson to the Cincinnati 39. Myers lost his footing and went down.
We talked about it before, guys. Priest Holmes makes this happen. This time he gets a shot at Renard Wilson. Wilson, number 55, is coming on the blitz this time. 260 pounds. The little guy takes him on. Who said those little guys can't play? Ha! There's your 5'9" in the chest, buddy.
You know why that thing works out for him so well? Before he went down, the spikes went over top of him, he went down. This time he got a base underneath him and he was able to deliver a blow.
Thomas Randolph missed that last tackle. Priest Holmes. They have found themselves a running back. And the offensive line has found a friend.
And Mike, that's a great point, because what he does is when they create the holes, he hits them so quickly, they don't have to hold them for a long time.
Jay Graham and Eric Rett apparently will be relegated to backup duty, and that's pretty good depth at that running back spot. And as we've seen so far this year, we used to talk about having to have 2 quarterbacks. Now you need 3 or 4 of everything in order to survive.
All these guys will play and help Ted Marchibroda win ball games.
Priest Holmes on 2nd and 5. Inside the 30, mark it at the 28.
You know, when you bring that up about backup people, Joe, one of the biggest problems is when we go around the National Football League and you talk to teams and say, okay, we've got a pretty good start in 22, but we really don't have enough backup people to make that big push to the playoffs. And now with these backs, they've got 5.
That's really where free agency has made teams thin. There aren't a lot of backups. That's one of the casualties of the free agency system that exists today. Not a lot of backups.
They'll come out and measure for the first down. Priest Holmes really hasn't had a chance to make a name for himself since he played at Texas, as you see the measurement. As a junior in '95, he tore up his ACL and then caught up in a numbers game as a senior. He only rushed for 324 yards. But then when you go into the postseason, in the Big 12 championship game against Nebraska, he had 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then in the bowl game against North Carolina, 161 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he is a big-time player.
And for the Ravens, the last 2 years, he's been their leading rusher in preseason, but never has been such a valuable special teams player. They haven't really wanted to feature him. Now Ted Marchibroda is going to be forced to.
And unofficially, he's got 163 tonight.
Maybe Ted went up to him earlier in the week and said, Priest, I have a confession. You're the starter.
You waited all night long for that, didn't you?
3rd and inches, Eric Rett comes in on short yardage. 2nd effort may have gotten it. Rett is a very hard runner for a 210-pound tailback. Dick LeBeau hoping they didn't get there.
If he doesn't make it, they're obligated to go again on 4th down, I think.
Why?
Because the field goal is going to put you almost at 49 yards, which isn't a gimme. And if you punt it, you're only picking up 8 yards if he kicks it in the end zone. Plus, if you got an offensive line that big, it's their job to knock people off the ball. Here's the decision.
They lost yardage.
Here's the decision that Ted has to make.
Hey, if I'm going to run the football, I'm putting Priest Holmes back in the ballgame.
And I'm running behind Jonathan Ogden. Dick LeBeau saying, get low. He wants the defense to have leverage. There was no hesitation on the part of Ted Marchibroda. There's Ogden, 6'8", 318. He has been devastating tonight.
Boy, when you look at Jonathan Ogden's face, he's mad. I mean, block somebody.
And Spikes will find the ball carrier. The question is, will he be able to stop him from getting yards?
Rhett stays in as the running back. I don't know. They went to the right.
If they get to the 28-yard line, they make it.
This is an inch one way or another. For the third consecutive play, they will bring in the chains.
Offensive line does a good job of getting underneath. Good penetration, though, and good pursuit. Now, the question is that last little bit of effort enough to get the first down?
Yes.
First down, Ravens.
I'll tell you, another great block by Roosevelt Potts. I mean, right at the point of attack, right at the hole.
The winner of this game will be 2-2 going into a bye week. The loser is 1-3 and in trouble.
And keep in mind, both these teams play divisional games, one against Tennessee, the other against Pittsburgh when they come out of the bye.
New set of down, 7:20 to go in the game. Holmes is back in. He'll get the carry. And waiting for him at the corner, big James Francis.
All night, Don Strock, the offensive coordinator of the Ravens, has chosen to throw on 1st and 10 to set up his running game. I don't believe he can get away from that now. I think he has to continue to run the play action on 1st and 10, or you're going to see James Francis making a lot more tackles than this one. He handles Eric Green that time and makes a great stop on Holmes.
Green's feet came right out from under him. That turf is treacherous.
No, what happened is Francis stepped on his toes and then pushed him back.
Zaire, a little half roll to the sideline. It's complete down to the 23-yard line. Jermaine Lewis knocked out by Ambrose.
But I am surprised about with the Ravens, though, when they've been running the ball in this drive here and the one before, Joe, they're running to the right. Now, I'm not saying that Orlando Brown and Blackshear are slouches on that side, but you've got Jonathan Ogden on the left-hand side, along with Wally Williams, and I go that way.
And then you put Eric Green over there and
go. Just go.
3 skyscrapers on one side.
3rd and 4. They're well within field goal range now. And they didn't beat the play clock. What a terrible mistake by Eric Zaire.
It is. And you're absolutely right, because when he comes out of that huddle, he has got to focus on that 25-second clock and see what's left. You got to hustle your guys to the line and somehow get a play off, because now you're playing with 2 or 3 yards worth of opportunities for field goals if you don't pick up something here.
The offense suffered no penalties in the first half. They've committed 4 in the second half, and Baltimore as a team has been hit 10 times. Big play now, 3rd and 9. Blitz. Priest Holmes nowhere to go. The crowd did not like the call. But you know what? That is a smart call, because you want the field goal at worst.
Well, you want the field goal opportunity, but again, it's never the play that we just saw. It always seems to be whatever happened before that creates the problem. Zaire not getting out of the huddle and getting a playoff was the problem.
Matt Stover has struggled. In fact, since last Thanksgiving, coming into this game, he'd made only 5 of 14. But he got the big one here. 46 yards. There had been a lot of speculation with his early season troubles. They'd bring someone else in. The Ravens lead by 7, only 5:15 to go. Tremaine Mack goes back to take Stover's kickoff. He has already returned one, 97 yards. From the 3 again. Not this time. Tried to climb the ladder. John Williams, Tyrell Peters down on coverage. We've got a timeout with 5:05 to go in the ball game. Cincinnati down by a touchdown. The Ravens lead by a touchdown. 5:05 to go in the ball game. We've got the moving pictures for you. Corey Dillon breaks it outside to the 27. Mike Brown, the president and general manager of the Cincinnati Bengals, has never had his ball club come back from as many as 21 down on the road. Against the Ravens, it was their best comeback 2 years ago, down by 18. They were down by 21 earlier tonight.
You really are the bearer of good news, aren't you?
That's usually like he's made 31 in a row. You know what happens to the next one. Dillon. Corey Dillon has run very, very hard tonight.
He has run very hard, but that offensive line has given him places to go. He not only moves the pile, but what he does is once he gets up inside, he has an opportunity to make some yards. You got to follow people sometimes. Watch the block of the fullback. Millen just take it right up inside. Just watch. All you have to do is watch the fullback, and that's where Corey's going to wind up. Does a nice job of blocking up inside.
Blake in the flat, almost picked off by Deron Jenkins, intended for Darnay Scott.
Yeah, but if Darnay Scott makes this play, Jenkins is going to be embarrassed because Scott's going to turn and head down the sidelines for a real big game.
No, it's touchdown. If Scott catches it, it's touchdown. Jenkins is making the move at the ball, and look at this. If Scott catches this ball, it's over.
Jeff Blake laid it right there. Dillon. Corey Dillon crosses the 40. They'll still be about 5 yards short of a first down.
Rob Burnett was in the backfield. I thought he was going to get the handoff. He was there to make the play. The problem is that he went after the quarterback, Jeff Blake, and not at the running back, Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon's running so hard his stripes are coming off.
3rd and 4. Dillon, straight handoff. And appears to have the first down at the 45. What a call on 3rd and 4. You go with a run.
You called him a pile mover?
A pile mover. But that's exactly right. But that time what he did, he ran right through Jamie Sharper's tackle. Jamie Sharper, number 55, has got him stopped short of the first down. Watch number 55 come up and make the play. Here it is. He hits him, he hits him, he hits him. He doesn't stop him.
Blake got it out to Pickens. Gains 8, and Carl Pickens now the all-time receiving leader in Bengals history. He has passed Chris Collinsworth.
I got to be honest with you. The last 2 plays that Deron Jenkins has tried to make just make no sense to me. You come up and just go flailing at Carl Pickens' feet without a prayer. Look at this. I mean, just square up and try and hold him up till your teammates come. You don't need to be spectacular.
Dillon. And right in his face, Tyrus McLeod and Peter Boulware. McLeod, the middle linebacker, filling in for Ray Lewis with a big hit.
Boy, Peter Boulware, number 58, was just sitting in the hole waiting on the play. He didn't leave. He didn't overrun. He just went right up the middle and makes the play. There's just no place to run here for Corey Dillon. Watch Peter Boulware, number 58. He's going to sit, and now make the play.
And we have reached the 2-minute warning in Baltimore. Baltimore, the Ravens by 7. John Unitas sweating it out on the sideline as his Baltimore team leads by 7.
Don't you think he'd love to be in a 2-minute drill
Absolutely.
right now? I tell you, it never leaves you.
Corey Dillon. Bieniemy was in there for a second. Dillon comes back in. Blake under pressure. Throws on the run. Incomplete. Jamie Sharper knocked it away.
I'll tell you, though, Rob Burnett and Peter Boulware, they make Jeff Blake feel real uncomfortable in the pocket. And they put a lot of pressure on him and doesn't really allow him to set and make the throw he wants. Watch the pressure up the middle. There comes 90. Here comes Boulware around the outside. They just make him move enough to get it out a little quicker than he wanted.
Blake pressured again. Boulware can't get it. Dives for the sticks. They'll mark him short.
This is what I don't agree with in defenses, and I mean this. You see it all the time. For, what is it, almost 58 minutes, you're sending 4 or 5 guys. Now you want to rush this guy, a guy like Blake who can move around with just 3 people. It just doesn't make sense.
It does to me in this situation. I'll tell you why. Because of his ability to run. If you miss him, you give up a much bigger play. If you've got guys drop back a little bit, you make them use timeouts, and you make them eat up some yards.
Woodson shaken.
He manages to push Blake out of bounds. We just saw him twist that left ankle. It just gets caught for a second.
He's walking off all right, but the one thing, once they call timeout and the trainers come out, he has to come out for at least 1 play.
There's Jeff Blake. You see where this is where Rod Woodson lives. 26 lives over here, and 25 lives over here. And that's where Jeff Blake has decided he wants to work. Thrown 3 balls to the left, completed 2-1 for a touchdown, and hasn't even gone near Rod Woodson.
The last timeout charged to Baltimore because of an injury inside the last 2 minutes. And Dwayne Starks, the rookie from Miami, number 22, will come in at the corner. You're looking at Deron Jenkins, who is the other corner. And now Woodson is coming back out on the field.
You know what I run here? I run a play-action fake here.
4th and 1.
Some kind of a play-action fake. You don't have to get the ball down the field. You can make the defense commit to try and stop the run.
And now Cincinnati will call a timeout.
Bruce Coslett on the left, Kenny Anderson on the right. Head coach and offensive coordinator.
Now, if you're Cincinnati, you hate to see them waste a timeout here, because if they don't make it, they could have used all 3 timeouts to stop the clock. But you also want to be very sure on this call.
The thing is you're in 4-down territory, and you can always complete a pass and let a guy run out of bounds to stop the clock for you. If you're not sure what you want to run here, you're not going to get another chance.
Blake has the play. 1:46 to go in the ball game.
Now, you also have a quarterback for Cincinnati and Jeff Blake that can move. And what they've done is the Ravens have substituted all the big people they can.
Blake wants to throw for it. Knocked away! Rod Woodson dove and got a hand on it. And Ray Lewis loves it.
I like the call, though. Well, they were not going to pick up a 1.5 yards running the football. But I do like the call. You take your best shot with your best gun. You'll see so many people up on around the line of scrimmage, and Carl Pickens is set out to the right. There's Pickens out here. What it's going to do is just going to run a little hook. Blake's going to get it out. Woodson's going to make a terrific play. He just sits. Rod Woodson says, all right, look, you're not going to go past me. I'm going to sit right there and let you come to me, and that's exactly what he does.
You know why you like one other reason you kind of like the call is because Rod Woodson just got hurt the play before because of the timeouts to get back in the ballgame. And Jeff Blake, they must have said, hey, look, he twisted his ankle. We saw the ankle twist. Let's go over there.
Cincinnati with 2 timeouts left. They'll use one to stop the clock with 1:35 to go. Friday at 8, ESPN 2 debuts Friday Night Fights. Andrew Galata battles Tim Witherspoon in the main event. Our classic fight features the greatest Muhammad Ali. From boxing's best show, join Brian Kenny and Max Kellerman on ESPN 2's Friday Night Fights.
They got 2 or 1 left now.
They have 2 left. They have 1 left because they called one. Right. That's right. To figure out the 4th down play, they used one.
Thank you very much.
After this.
You didn't realize.
No, I didn't.
You'd wonder what I was doing all these years, didn't you, baby? I've been here all the time.
I think the medication's worn off, Paul.
He's starting to go fast.
Somewhere
around 11:30 he starts to go.
Priest Holmes to the 35. The Bengals used their last timeout. This is only the 2nd home game for the Ravens in their new playpen. It's called the New Stadium at Camden Yards. One of the things they have here, you can get your face painted as you come into the stadium. And this young lady will do the job.
That's Paul Maguire, by the way.
You know what? I always think this looks silly, but on you it looks good.
I like that. This is good. I wondered where you were this afternoon. Now I know. I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you.
I'll tell you, is that stuff hard to get off? And I mean,
I didn't want to say anything, but you had a little purplish tint to you. I wasn't
You
sure.
could have worn it up here.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot.
Well, with 1:30 to go, if the Ravens run a play and do not get a first down, and Art Modell certainly hopes that they do, but if they don't, then they can let the clock run another 25 seconds and make Cincinnati get it back with under a minute to go. Holmes on the toss. Priest Holmes breaks the tackle and has the first down. What a run by Priest Holmes.
Yeah, but he gets some help in the hole. He gets people holding him up. He was going down. And I don't know if it was either Roosevelt Potts or one of the linemen that actually reaches back and keeps him on his feet. Priest Holmes, the job is yours, young man. It is all yours. But here he comes to the outside. There's Roosevelt Potts in front of him. Priest Holmes, it is Potts. He looks like he's going down. Look at Potts. He grabs him by the arm and pulls him forward. What a great play.
27 carries, 173 yards for Priest Holmes. And all the Ravens have to do now is hold on to the football. And they will have evened their record at 2-2, dropping Cincinnati to 1-3.
The Cincinnati Bengals are not the Cincinnati Bengals of old,
nope,
Mike. I think
agree.
This is a football team that's going to win their share of football games. They've got a lot of young guys that have to learn to play a little bit, and I thought Jeff Blake did a terrific job coming in relief.
The Baltimore Ravens are right on the edge of being a team that can have a significant impact in the NFL. And this year, not down the road, but this year under Ted Marchibroda. They took every shot Cincinnati could throw, and they win it. The final score, 31-24. Coming up next, Sports Center. Dan Patrick and Kenny Mayne with a complete wrap-up of the day in sports. For Joe Theismann, Paul Maguire, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. Good night from Baltimore. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.